the free charge for these students. And also, we had in the original bill that the attendance officer would verify that the student was in good standing. And actually, every school system has to designate a homeless liaison. And so that homeless liaison would verify that student's good standing rather than the attendance officer.
Okay, all right. Members, you've heard explanation of the committee amendment. If you're in favor of the committee amendment, your vote will be aye. If you're opposed, your vote is no. Clerk will unlock the machine. The members will vote. Voting on the committee amendment. All the members voted. Clerk will lock the machine, record the vote. There are 100 yeas, 0 nays, 1 abstention, and the committee amendment is adopted. And Representative Staff, we're back on the bill.
Mr. Speaker, if there are no questions, I move for final passage as amended.
All right, we're on final passage of House Bill 385 as amended. If you're in favor of this bill, your vote is aye. If you're opposed, your vote is no. Clerk will unlock the machine. The members will vote. All the members voted. Clerk will lock the machine, record the vote. There are 100 yeas, 0 nays, 1 abstention, and House Bill 385 is passed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, members of the body.
Thank you for your work. Clerk, call the next bill on special order.
On page 28 of the calendar, House Bill number 376 by Representative Reynolds relating to the retirement systems.
And Representative Reynolds, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Colleagues, this bill, HB 376, is about recruiting some of our experienced workers back to the workforce. We're talking about law enforcement, educators, and the list goes on and on, corrections officers. And we, under the current law, the post-return to work within the retirement system of Alabama is capped at $32,000 plus an index. This temporarily moves that cap to $52,000, also with an index. And it also removes the part-time or temporary capacity requirement, and that was really done because of a lack of bus drivers in the education realm, and tried to get them back and then be able to participate in insurance if they were in a full-time capacity. It would require a 90-day separation of service, and it would sunset unless otherwise amended on December the 31st, 2026. With that, Mr. Speaker, I call for the BIR.
All right, members, I believe the question before us is the adoption of the BIR. If you're in favor of the BIR, your vote is aye. If you're opposed, your vote is no. Clerk will unlock the machine, and the members will vote. All the members voted? Clerk will lock the machine, record the vote. There are 100 yeas, 0 nays, 1 abstention, almost a nay, and the BR is adopted. Yeah, Chairman Reynolds, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and call for final passage.
All right, we're on final passage of House Bill 376. If you're in favor of this bill, your vote is aye. Opposed, your vote is no. Clerk will unlock the machine, and the members will vote. All the members voted. Clerk will lock the machine, record the vote. There are 100 yeas, 0 nays, 0 abstentions, and House Bill 376 is passed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, sir. Thank you for your work on the bill. Clerk, call the next bill on special order.
On page 21 of the calendar, House Bill number 315 by Representative Gavan relating to crimes and offenses.
And Representative Gavan, you're recognized.
And I do have an amendment, a floor amendment. Members, what you have before you is HB 315. I'm sure by now many of you have heard about the misconduct by law enforcement in one local municipality in the state of Alabama called Brookside. And what happened in this situation is we had a municipality in which workers or someone under the authority of either the mayor or someone that was designated by the mayor at some point move jurisdictional boundaries within that municipality. It's not just happening, however, in Brookside. It typically happens a lot in small town USA. And the purpose of them moving the jurisdictional boundary lines is to expand their boundary lines for which they can continue over a course of time to give tickets to individuals as they create these ticket traps, as we're beginning to hear more and more about. So working with several other members of the House who has bills that are going to be coming forward, as well as the Lieutenant Governor and others who have really been trying to assist citizens to work through these issues, I have sponsored HB 315 for that purpose, for which it will create a Class A misdemeanor for any individual who misrepresents the police jurisdictional boundaries of a municipality, specifically making it unlawful for a person to misrepresent the jurisdiction of the municipality by use of a sign, a marker, or any other marking, or to instruct another person to misrepresent the police jurisdictional lines of a municipality. And at this time, Mr. Speaker, if there are no questions, I move for the BRR.
All right, and the chair recognizes the gentleman from Shelby County, Representative Bedsole, first person speaking on the BRR.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So I just want to ask you a few questions about like the practical aspect of how this would work. So could you give me a little idea of, is this physically the person who posts the sign, or would this be the law enforcement officer? Would this be the mayor, the chief?
It could actually be anybody, because what we're seeing is folks are actually going out, marking these signs, literally taking signs from one jurisdiction to another to expand their jurisdiction. I do have an amendment that will probably clear up. I've been working with the rules chair on some language, and it will further clarify who the bill, speaks directly regarding. But anyone who intentionally, knowingly misrepresents, that means, again, by marker, taking the signs up, creating their own signs, creating their own jurisdictional boundaries, typically with municipalities, with annexations and certain types of annexations, that is under the law and responsibility of legislators such as yourself and myself, as well as sometimes counties will annex. But these folks are actually taking these lines, creating their own ticket traps, and for which when folks drive through, for instance, if you're in unincorporated Jefferson County, you shouldn't have a jurisdictional boundary all the way 2 or 3 municipalities over into the city of Birmingham.
Yeah. So, and I think you said something that was really something I think I was wanting to hear, is the words knowingly and intentionally, is that part of your?
With knowledge of the true boundary of the municipality.
Certainly what I'm inquiring about is ensuring that any law enforcement officer that was conducting their job and thinking they were operating within their police jurisdiction, but perhaps were either misinformed or misled, because these jurisdictional boundaries aren't in a perfect square or anything like that.
No, but if you're 3 or 4 municipalities over. That's a difference.
Sure.
Yeah,
and I think and even this body has addressed some legislation last session that had to do with police jurisdictions. In essence, in the state of Alabama, police jurisdictions are not going to continue to expand. They're not going to continue to grow, because we passed a bill last year that basically says the police jurisdictions are what they are. And as a city grows, they're going to grow into their jurisdiction. So the jurisdiction shouldn't be expanding.
No.
But I just want to make sure that somebody is legitimately trying to do their job. And I know the specific case you're talking about. We all do, right? So I think as a career law enforcement professional, some of the behaviors and things that were going on there is something that we wouldn't condone, or I wouldn't condone. So I understand the intent.
And I've had a lot of support from law enforcement regarding the bills that I've proposed This was one of them, as well as the piece of legislation dealing with unmarked vehicles, making sure that you have on a uniform or something that identifies yourself as an officer.
Sure.
But this is a case in which, for instance, you're sitting in the middle of one municipality, you jump, for instance, you're in the center, and all of a sudden, you expand your jurisdiction around to wrap around 3 or 4 municipalities that are not even contiguous to your municipality.
And you may know the answer to this because I don't, but are jurisdictions from multiple cities able to cross each other, or what you're describing, is that where they're going around? Because I thought there was something
They're
that says you
actually
couldn't cross
creating
jurisdictions.
inside of another jurisdiction their own jurisdictional boundaries.
Okay.
And most law enforcement, they will typically know right from wrong and where those jurisdictional boundary lines are.
And I do operate in that world, and so I can understand, but again, I want to make sure that we're not talking about a situation where someone unintentionally is doing this. This is targeted for those situations like you described. So
Yes.
the amendment possibly clears this up, is what you're
Yes.
telling me?
Yes.
Okay, all right, thank you, I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, sir. Thank you, gentlemen. All right, members, I believe the question now is going to be on the adoption of the BIR. If you're in favor of the BIR, your vote will be aye. If you're opposed, your vote is no. Clerk will unlock the machine, and the members will vote. All the members voted.
I hope everybody.
All the members voting? Clerk will lock the machine, record the vote. There are 97 yeas, 0 nays, 2 abstentions, and the BIR is adopted. And Representative Gavan, we're back on the
And with
bill.
that, I have an amendment,
All right.
and this,
Clerk receive the amendment.
Amendment to House Bill number 315 by Representative Gavan.
on page 2, line 26, after municipality, insert the following: with knowledge of the true boundary of the municipality.
All right, okay. And members, you've heard the floor amendment that was offered by the sponsor. And if you are in favor of this amendment, your vote will be aye. If you're opposed, your vote is no. Clerk will unlock the machine and the members will vote. All the members voted. Clerk will lock the machine, record the vote. There are 98 yeas, 0 nays, 3 abstentions, and the floor amendment is adopted. Representative Gavan, we're back on the bill.
If there are no further questions, I would like to move for final passage of House Bill 315.
All right, I believe that's the question before us. Final passage of House Bill 315 as amended. If you're in favor of this bill, your vote will be aye. If you're opposed, your vote is no. Clerk will unlock the machine and the members will vote. All the members voted. All the members voted. And the clerk will lock the machine, record the vote. There are 96 yeas, 3 nays, 0 abstentions, and House Bill 315 is passed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
And Chair thanks the lady for her work. All right. Clerk, call the next bill on special order.
On page 2 of the calendar, House Bill number 121 by Representative Garrett relating to local government.
And Chairman Garrett, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the recognition. Currently, municipalities and county governments are not able to, or limited in what they can invest funds they hold in because of what's in the law. Typically, that's not a problem because these governments don't have a lot of money. But with all the federal money that's come down with ARPA, they now have substantial cash balances. So this bill would allow counties, municipal governments to invest in commercial paper and bankers' acceptances, which earn a rate of return that's more desirable than what they have now, but they're considered very, very safe. So with that, I would move for the BIR.
All right, and I believe that's the question before us, adoption of the BIR. And if you're in favor of the BIR, your vote is aye. If you're opposed, your vote is no. Clerk will unlock the machines. The members will vote. All the members voted? Clerk will, all the members voted? Clerk will lock the machine, record the vote. There are 99 yeas, 0 nays, 0 abstentions, and the BIR is adopted. Chairman Garrett, we're back on the bill now.
Mr. Speaker, I'd like to apply Rule 20 to substitute the House bill with SB 178.
All right, okay. And the motion before us is to substitute the Senate bill for House Bill 121. And are there any objections to that? All right.
I asked this question.
All right, we're going to transfer we're going to substitute the Senate bill for
Yes.
House Bill 121. Hearing no objections, then we are ready, Mr. Clerk, to get to.
On page 42 of the calendar, Senate Bill number 178 by Senator Gavin relating to local government.
And Chairman Garrett, we're back on the Senate bill now.
Move for the adoption of the BIR on SB 178.
Okay, all right. The question is the adoption of the BIR on the Senate bill. If you're in favor of the BIR, your vote is aye. If you're opposed, your vote is no. Clerk will unlock the machine and the members will vote. All the members voted. Clerk will lock the machine, record the vote. There are 101 yeas, 0 nays, 0 abstentions. The BIR is adopted. Representative Garrett, we're back on the Senate bill now.
Move for final passage.
We're on final passage of Senate Bill 178. If you're in favor of this bill, your vote is aye. If you're opposed, your vote is no. Clerk will unlock the machine. The members will vote. All the members voted. All the members voted. Representative Sayles, you going to vote? All right. Clerk will lock the machine. Record the vote. 101 yeas, 0 nays, 0 abstentions. Senate Bill 178 is passed.
Mr. Speaker, move to indefinitely postpone HB 121.
All right. The motion before us to indefinitely postpone House Bill 121. Any objections to that motion? Hearing none, then that bill will be indefinitely postponed.
Thank you, body.
Yes, sir. Thank the gentleman for the work. All right. Clerk, call the next bill on the special order.
On page 10 of the calendar, House Bill number 323 by Representative Hill relating to judges and justices.
Chair recognizes Judge Hill.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, we've passed this bill out of this body for at least the last 2 years. What it does is it allows for a retired judge to be called back into service at 25% of this pay. Many of you have backlogs in your court right now, and I would ask for the BIR.
I believe that's the question before us, the adoption of the BIR. If you're in favor of the BIR, your vote is aye. If you're opposed, your vote is no. The clerk will unlock the machine. The members will vote. All the members voted. All the members voted. Clerk will lock the machine, record the vote. There are 101 yeas, 0 nays, 0 abstentions. The BIR is adopted, and Judge Hill, we're back on the bill now.
And I would ask now for final passage.
All right, we're on final passage of House Bill 323. If you're in favor of this bill, your vote is aye. Opposed, your vote is no. Clerk will unlock the machine. The members will vote. All the members voted. Clerk will lock the machine, record the vote. There are 101 yeas, 0 nays, 0 abstentions, and House Bill 323 is passed.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thank the gentleman for his work. All right, and the clerk now will call the next bill on the special order.
On page 41 of the calendar, House Bill number 336 with substitute by Representative Reynolds relating to plumbers and gas fitters.
And Chairman Reynolds, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. At the appropriate time, I will have a committee substitute. This is a workforce development bill, and it's about increasing the number of apprentices per journeyman on a job site. Certainly needed with the growing economy that we've got. With that, I would call for the BIR off of the,
Yeah, I think we're going to have a riot if we don't vote on this thing here. Yeah. All right, members, we're voting now on the BIR on House Bill 336. If you're in favor of the BIR, your vote is aye. If you're opposed, your vote is no. Clerk will unlock the machine. The members will vote. All the members voted. Clerk will lock the machine, record the vote. 100 yeas, 0 nays, 0 abstentions, and the BIR is adopted. And Chairman Reynolds, we're back on the bill now, on the floor.
Mr. Speaker, and ask to adopt the committee substitute.
That's correct, that's correct. You want to give explanation of that? Hopefully, nobody will be shouting.
Certainly do, and certainly this would be the time I want to thank the Alabama Plumbers and Gas Fitters Association, the Alabama Pipe Trade Association, and the Home Builder Association. I actually attended a board meeting with them last summer in Birmingham. This was a much-needed expansion of their industry, and we offered the substitute because they all came together to make this, everybody's on board with it. So with that, I'll ask for the...
All right, members, you've heard explanation of the committee sub by the sponsor. If you're in favor of this substitute, your vote will be aye. If you're opposed, your vote is no. Clerk will unlock the machine. The members will vote. All the members voted. Clerk will lock the machine, record the vote. There are 101 yeas, 0 nays, 0 abstentions, and the committee sub is adopted. Now, Chairman Reynolds, we're back on the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I ask for the final passage of the substitute.
All right, the question is final passage. If you're in favor of this bill, your vote is aye. If you're opposed, your vote is no. Clerk will unlock the machine. The members will vote. All the members voted. All the members voted. Clerk will lock the machine, record the vote. 101 yeas, 0 nays, 0 abstention, and House Bill 336 is passed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, sir. Thank the gentleman. Appreciate your work. All right, Mr. Clerk, let's call the next bill on the special order.
On page 27 of the calendar, House Bill number 55 with amendments by Representative Hill relating to community punishment and corrections.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bill requires that every circuit in this state have a community corrections and punishment program. We have a committee amendment that says this, that the department shall pay community corrections a per diem rate based on the results of the risk and need assessment, a rate no less than $15 for low risk, $17.50 for medium risk, and $20 for high risk. Unfortunately, when we did this in the Ways and Means Committee, we referenced a improper code section, which was 14.121. I have a floor amendment. I would like to table the amendment that we did in the committee. I've gone over this with Chairman Klaus, and he understands exactly what we're doing. But I would ask that we table the.
Just go ahead with your explanation. I'll let you just give so the members have that.
The other bill, the bill that or the amendment would just simply set those same three amounts of money.
All right. Well, let's get the BIR first before we get too detailed.
All right. Then I ask for the BIR.
Okay, that'd be the question to be asked. The chair recognizes the gentleman from Montgomery, Representative Ingram. We're on the BIR now.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, sir.
Sure.
I heard this when you were presenting the bill. I happened to be in there at the same time in committee doing a bill as well. But how is this going to? I didn't stay for the whole thing. How is this going to be funded? Each county is going to do it, or does it fall back on the state? Or
Actually, the Department of Corrections has the money right now to make the startup cost for those circuits that do not have a community corrections. Once you get them going, like we have in our county,
Right.
And you probably.
We got it in Montgomery County.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, we started it
They
when I was commissioner.
become self-sustaining.
Right.
Because the individual that's within the program pays supervision fees, pays drug testing fees. There are grants that are available to run these programs. We started ours in 2008. We got the startup money from the state, and we have never had a problem with the money because they're self-sustaining.
And I think it's a great program, don't get me wrong, but I just didn't know if it was all going to come back on us. If a county doesn't get the money or startup money, how is that, is it going to ever come back and be a liability to us?
No, sir.
Okay, that's all the questions I had.
No, that's fine.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
And the chair thanks the gentleman. Chair recognizes the gentleman from Jefferson County, Representative Garrett, second person speaking on the BIR.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. You yield?
Sure.
Can you just explain to me what this program is? I'm just not familiar at all. Pretend like I don't know anything, which I don't.
Community corrections started as an alternative sentencing program. The individual would be sentenced to the Department of Corrections, but because of the score that they had on the sentencing worksheets, they should go to they should go to DOC in prison. This program's originally started to defer these people into the community corrections program. So they would serve their sentence in the community corrections as opposed to within the confines of the DOC structures. Since then, it has grown. A lot of your drug courts, your mental health courts, your veterans courts, all rest on the base of community corrections. It also gives you an excellent opportunity to let an individual get out of jail, say on a bond, and he can't make the bond, or like we do, we drug test everybody that's arrested for a felony. If they test clean, then we don't make them go back into community corrections. If they test, if they test dirty, then they go into community corrections because we randomly drug screen them. If they can't make the bond, the condition of the bond will be community corrections, again, because you have the random drug screens. And so you get the touches with them before they come up for a trial. But the underlying objective originally was to deflect nonviolent, low-level criminals who otherwise would be sent to the Department of Corrections, to community corrections, where you can monitor them, supervise them, they can work, yet you continue to deal with them.
So they might be living at home during the
Yes,
okay.
they will be.
And just one other question about the self-sustaining. How do these programs become self-sustaining? You mentioned
Either
financially.
through anytime you got somebody that's on probation, now this is not probation, it's community corrections, but still they pay a probation fee, they pay a supervision fee, they pay drug testing fees because we randomly drug screen them. Plus, there are any number of grants that are available through, generally through ADECA and places like that to help sustain these programs. We have run ours since 2008. We got the original startup money, and it has been self-sustaining from that point
So,
forward.
and then how many circuits are there in the state? These are
41.
41. And how many do not have these programs?
I could look at it, Danny. I would say
Roughly.
10 or 12.
Okay. Thank you.
I mean, that's rough. That's
thank you.
pretty roughly a good idea.
And the chair thanks the gentleman. All right, members, I believe the question before